Hello, welcome to Burning Questions. It's Inter Dominion week, and we're going to have a good look at the series up in New South Wales. And to help us do so, we've brought in some race calling royalty. Freddie Hastings, first time we've actually met face to face, Fred, but really looking forward to your insights and even more importantly, looking forward to your calls over the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, good on you, Tim. Yeah, really looking forward to this series. It's really been opened up now that we've seen a couple of the big guns come out, and historically that can also lend itself to a fairy tale, if you like, in terms of the Inter Dominion outcome. We saw the series a couple of years back in Sydney, where a couple of horses dominated the heats. Expensive Ego and King of Swing, they went through undefeated to the final. I don't think we're going to see necessarily a horse dominate the series like those two did going back 3 years ago.
No, I agree with you. Looking forward to chatting Inter Dominion very shortly. Brett Carroll joins us, and also Nathan Jack. Thanks for jumping on the show, boys.
No worries, Tim. Good afternoon.
Good stuff. Hey, I thought we'd kickstart it with just something a little bit lighter. So we're not asking for a form or a tip in this first question, but it's a bit of a reflection. We've all got moments that we love in harness racing, and I'm sure we've all got one here. Just our first sponsor, though, Pride's Easy Feed, stand as a proud supporter of the harness racing industry with their set recipes and quality ingredients to give the trainer confidence in what they're feeding. So make the switch to Pride's and start getting the result you've been chasing. The first question, the special Interdom moments are vast, but which one is the best from the past? I will start with you, Nath. You're on your way to the races. Is there one that we all sit up late at night and watch YouTube videos and remember some of those great moments? Is there one that sits above all others for you?
There is actually. Obviously, I'm a mad Quinny fan, so any of Quinny's were good, just with my connection with the horse and with junior and senior. But one that really sticks to mind is Golden Rain in 95. Like, it's come from a mile back. There was protests and everything, and he wasn't sort of going through speed like that, and he was so fast, and then it looked like he was under pressure a long way from home, and he found another gear late to win. So that was one that I really liked. Yeah, Golden Rain.
Yeah, great one. What about you, Brett? You've seen it all. You're a wise old head. Which one sits above all others for you?
I've probably seen about maybe four or five live. So the Shake and Bake one was pretty cool because local victory, packed Mooney Valley. And it was a really good field, and the sort of horse he was, you could see him coming, and the commentator got everyone excited, and it was a pretty good night. I'm like with Nathan with the Golden Rain one though. That was like in those days, especially. You're like, it's just how could that be done? It just didn't seem possible that he could win like that, and we had so much respect for the New Zealand horses, so it just didn't seem possible that he could do what he did that day, but he did.
Yeah, great recollections. Fred, you've been lucky enough to call some Inter Dominion finals. Is that where your memories are, or is there one as a kid, or take us back to your favourite Inter Dominion memory?
I think my favourite as a caller would probably be Black's a Fake, just ahead of I'm the Mighty Quinn. There was a lot to do with I'm the Mighty Quinn's win in that. It was a rejigged format, where we moved away from the traditional three heats and a final, and it was done a bit differently, and culminated in a massive crowd at Menangle on that Sunday afternoon. Had free-to-air TV coverage on Channel 9, which was a real first at that stage. So they're special ones. But as a young bloke, I always remember the 1980 one where Brian Hancock, I guess, announced himself as the king of the Inter Dominion when he burst on the scene driving Koala King to victory. They would have tore the stands down if Paleface had have won. Paleface Adios went into the race as the favourite and the crowd favourite, but got a bit of trouble near the turn, and I think from memory ran fifth, but it was Koala King and Brian Hancock who, that famous salute with the arm raised aloft with the arm and whip in the air. As a young bloke and an aspirant of joining the calling ranks one day, that's one that stuck in my mind.
Yeah, they're great. For me personally, it's probably it's definitely Quinny. I posted it last night on Twitter just while I was having a quiet beer at home and going down memory lane. But when he won at Gloucester Park, geez, I wish I was there. The hometown hero, and Richie Bells called him. And they just don't win from there at Gloucester Park, and he's won in front of his hometown, and that was just amazing. So that one sits above all others for me. But also your call, Fred. I think one of the best Inter-Dominion performances is when Quinny won at Menangle. If you look at the bell, Marseille leads at the bell and Quinny's sitting last. And Quinny goes past every single horse to win, and Marseille actually boxes on for second. So he's defied the race pattern there. And I think you said he's picked him up in one stride or something like that. It was a great moment. Let's hope we have something to celebrate in a couple of weeks' time on December 14. That moves on to our second question. And our second sponsor, Logical Staffing Solutions, provide labour hire and recruitment services to the transport, warehousing, automotive and manufacturing industries. A logical solution for your staffing needs. The defending champs are nowhere to be seen. So who wins the crowns on December 14? We'll hold you to last here, Fred. We'll go back to you, Nath. I know you're involved in the series, so no doubt you'd love one of your chances, Max Delight or Plymouth Chubb, to be in the winning photos. But take us into your mind here. Who are the horses to beat in the pacing and trotting series?
Yeah, well, like you say, I'm hoping Max Delight. He's in the right hands. He's in form. There's plenty of other good horses and great trainers too. Luke's got a great record at this series. Grimo, no one's got a better record than Grimo. So I'm sure it's quite open this year, but yeah, I'm hoping Max Delight's one of them.
Yeah, I think he can. And just on Plymouth Chubb, are you with him the whole series, Nate?
No. I'm just warming the seat for Kez. I think the Locomotive's going to be real hard to beat in the trot, but I do think the three heats and the final will really suit Plymouth Chubb. Just the way he's trained and he's quite seasoned, so I think he'll be suited right down to the ground for the final time.
Yeah. Brett, you've had a good look at the form. You know all these horses really well. I find it really tough when these series come around to mix, Victorian form, New South Wales form, Western Australian form on a track like Menangle. Ultimately at Menangle. Who do you think will emerge on top?
Oh, I think the paces is wide open, and a lot of horses. There's a lot of tactical versatility amongst. There's no horse is just one dimensional. So I think it's going to be a really good series, actually. And you got, like Minstrel's 7-year-old, but it's probably in its prime. But Don Hugo's a 4-year-old. You got a mixture of that sort of type of horses. Max Delight's 8, but he's still at his peak. So it's actually a pretty cool race. And I reckon there's probably a dozen horses that I reckon wouldn't surprise me that they won. The trot is a lot thinner. I'm with the Locomotive with Nathan. It looks unbelievable since it's been in Brad Hewitt's camp. I mean, it just could be its first proper preparation as an open age horse, and it seems to have gone to another level. And it's got the gate speed that some of the other good chances don't have. So yeah, it's a bit thinner, the trot for mine.
Yeah. Fred, love your insights. If you could tip us the all-in pacing and trotting double, that'd be really nice.
Look, and not because Nathan's on the line, I've just been in Camp Max Delight. I just think Max Delight is the sort of horse he's strong, he's tough, he loves Menangle, he loves 2300. He's won plenty of group races at that track. I do think Max Delight is going to be one to toss. It's what it's done when I said it opened up the series. It's created the chances for horses who are very wide in betting that historically race well at Menangle. A horse, for example, draws barrier 1 tonight called Zeus Bromac. Is a Group 1 winner at the track, probably coming good at the right time. He usually takes 3 or 4 runs to hit his peak, and he's coming into tonight's race at his third start since a break. He's the sort of horse, if you like backing a roughie, he's the sort of horse that could figure. And I'm with the boys. The Locomotive, I've seen him his last few wins. He's a robust, strong trotting type who really gets into his work. He's got a few strings to his bow, I think. And Brad Hewitt, he always has decent horses in his barn, and he's got hold of this bloke, and he's just taking him to new levels. He's a 4-year-old, remember, and he's taking on these older, more seasoned horses, but he's just racing in such great heart. I think they're the horses. I've just learned that Tack McLeod has come out of number 3. So Tack McLeod's out of that race. But in terms of the rest of the horses like Minstrel, as Brett said, its WA Cup win was big, but we haven't seen this season the WA horses come across the eastern seaboard and perform, at their best. So that's another little query that you can add into it. But horses like Don Hugo, even the Queenslander Black Sedans tonight from barrier 2. I guess it's all about getting decent points, and Black Sedans is drawn in a position to get decent points tonight. So for me, I'd love to see Max Delight win. And of course, and I know, I bet Nathan says he hopes Max Delight can win. And of course, the Locomotive in the trot.
Yeah, I think you've given a good summary there. Probably one horse, I just think maybe getting under the radar a little bit. I think Can't Find a Better Man's got a great hope. I mean, he's really stepped up his game, I think. I haven't paid a close attention to him when he was racing around New South Wales, but since he's been down at Melton, he's been so impressive. But for the record, I'll have a stab in the dark. I'm going to go with Curly James in the Paces, and I'm going to go with Kiang Chucky in the trot, just with very little confidence. But anyway, for the record, we might be able to pull out the replay and put it up on socials if one of us can find the double there. Let's we might just hold you to the side a little bit here, Fred, but just listen along with us. We're going to have a quick look at Melton on Saturday night. Of course, the 8-race card kicks off at 6:29 p.m. And we will start with race 2 for our third question here. Operative Line has good early toe, but will she cross when the starter says go? Nathan Jack drives the Rebecca East trained pacer. As I said, race 2 at 7:07 p.m. in the hip pocket Castlemaine free for all. I'll go to you first, Brett. Good early toe for sure. First up from a break, but Young Bluey drawn to the inside. It's a really interesting race, but a really interesting speed map as well.
Yeah, I think it's probably the stupidest price that we've got so far for Operative Line. It should be $15, not $5. Just because it hasn't run since September, and it's coming up against Young Bluey, Serge Blanco, Bulletproof Boy, and Triple Eight are all at their peak, and they're all the same price more or less. Whereas I think Operative Line is behind all them, so I really think it's going to find it very hard. I'm not sure whether Matt's going to hand up, or he'd have to elect to hand up, in my opinion. And the way it's going so well, I think he'll hold the lead because there doesn't seem to be a lot of pressure in the race, and I can't see Nathan making too much of an issue at the start. That's my opinion.
Well, just one more for you, Brett. We were chatting on the radio show just before with Gareth and your brother Darren. Would there be any part of you that thinks if I let Operative Line go, I'll be able to cover it up the sprint lane and it might rule Serge Blanco out of the race? Would it be a tactical idea? I'm just throwing it out there.
Yeah, I don't think he would. 2240 metres. Operative Line hasn't run since September. That means you're vulnerable to Bulletproof Boy and Triple Eight getting you before the lane comes up. That's a bit of a worry. I reckon that'd be a bit of a worry. I'm not knocking Operative Line at all. Horse has made an amazing progress in the last 12 months. But as I said, it's coming up against some proper horses that are all fit and 100% ready to go.
Yeah. Nath, your thoughts here? Operative Line, barrier 2. Are you going to try and cross? Do you think you can? And what do you think your winning hopes are?
Yeah, I haven't spoken to Beck about this one yet. Obviously, I wouldn't get into a war with him just in a rally. He's really formed. Boy, they're all seasoned horses. Where I'm not just yet, so I wouldn't think that we'd be getting into a war this early in the prep. But quality horse, and he's a big step up in grade day.
Cool. We half lost you there, Nath, but in summary, you don't want to put the foot down too hard.
I wouldn't think so. Quality horse, but it's a massive rise in grade.
Yeah, thanks for that. I'm with Serge Blanco for the record. I think Young Blue will lead. Serge Blanco on his back. No, I'm not. It's hard to split him. I think Young Blue is flying, but Serge Blanco just been up in this top grade for a while now and running cracking races. Gets his chance. So I think it's a logical Quinella. Moving on to our fourth and final question. Ghost of Time went for a break on a winning note. So should punters give him the vote? We'll go straight back to you, Brett. Race 1, horse number 1, Stephen Loftus, the trainer, Connor Clark, the driver. You would have seen the trials during the week. I thought he trialled really well, ready for this assignment, Ghost of Time.
Yeah, he finished his last preparation off really good. His last 2 runs were both unbelievable. And based on that trial the other day, he looks like he's just ready to go straight from where he left off last prep. And Connor Clark sounded really confident when he spoke to Gareth Hall on the radio this morning. He was just exuding confidence. and he didn't sound like to me he was going to be letting anyone get past him at the start. I'll be taking a bit of confidence from Connor and back in, hold the lead and be pretty hard to beat. Yeah.
Nathan, you're driving horse number 2, Skinny Dip. Good winner last time out, beating the Big Boss. Similar kind of scenario, I think, to the other race. You've got a nice horse with some good gate speed, but another nice horse with some good gate speed to your inside. How do you see it panning out?
I'll probably struggle to get across it, I think. Got a really big opinion of the one horse. Seen him win at Shep one night. I don't know how many runs ago it was, but done a power of work and still finished off really strong. I would have liked the draws reversed and me to sit on his back. Then I would have been quite confident that I'd run a good race. But I'm going to need a bit of luck from the draw, I think. Yeah,
I'm with Ghost of Time for the record as well. I think he's just he's drawn so well, and his campaign, as Brett said, finished really strongly last time out. He was knocking on the door to win a race, and he finally won one before a break, and his trial was outstanding behind Act Now on Tuesday. So I'm with race 1, number 1, Ghost of Time. Righto, best bets. Freddie, this is where you make a name for yourself. It's sponsored by Sharp's Bakery. They're a little bakery in Birchip. I don't know if you've ever been to Birchip or you know where Birchip is, and I don't even know if you're a sweet tooth, but if you are ever in that neck of the woods, head to Sharp's Bakery.
That's the best tip of the day, folks. There is the best tip of the day, and I like a sweet, and if I can tip a winner in the Birchip Bakery segment, maybe they'll send me a few jam donuts. I like Love Arecious tonight, boys. It's in race 2. It's horse 5, and it's had a little bit of support from its opening mark. Slowly getting it now to $2.90 on the fixed, and give it a real chance tonight because it has raced well it's raced well throughout its 2 and 3-year-old seasons, and I think she's a chance here to pick up a Breeders' Challenge Eastern Series. Sweet Haley Jane will be the nominal favourite. Dolce Drama's been racing well at Menangle, but I just thought Love Arecious might be able to get away with race 2. Certainly not a good weather day to be getting stuck into the Recious, boys, with the rain about, but hopefully we can have something after it wins Love Arecious in the second Newcastle.
That's for old Leroy Sutton there, Nath. I haven't seen him for a while. He has going up in New South Wales. I lost you there, Brett. Go again. Hello? Go again, Brett.
I missed a bit there. Yeah, I didn't realise the rain stopped me.
Well,
before Fred. Never seen, to be honest.
Over to you, Nath. Best bet here tonight. Melton, where are we going?
Freddie might be able to help me out a bit here. I'm really confident of Ravishing Sloy in the first. Massive drop in grade. Last 2 runs in Victoria have been outstanding. Would have smashed the clock last week or last start. I don't know what his last quarter would have been, but it would have been very fast. I don't know much about it.
It was around 26 or something, Nathan. It was mad. It was so fast.
Yeah. It was great.
Yeah, it was crazy fast. I do think it's a massive drop in grade. I don't know the opposition that well just yet, but Freddie might be able to help us out here.
I think you're going to be hard to beat in that race. I've tipped you on top, Nate. Double Fear Draw is good from Barrier 1. Has been racing well, and Cabana and Forceful out of Rick Alchin's stable. They've been going well. I think there's really only 2 or 3 hopes in the race, but I think you clearly are marked on top. So hopefully you can get off to a winning start.
Yeah, well, I thought we could go into Bobby to base at Wagga for a multi, then not flash odds, but they both should win, in my opinion.
Good stuff. Thanks, Nate. So we got races 1 and 2 covered there at Newcastle. Brett, I assume you're heading to Melton for your best bet.
I got a best bet at Newcastle and Melton. My Newcastle best bet was Ravishing Sloy multi into the Locomotive. It's a Nathan Jack themed special because it's Nathan's favourite trotter plus one he's driving. And then my best at Melton is Ghost of Time.
Great stuff. We haven't got prices out for every race at Melton, but I'm gonna have a multi at Melton Saturday night. I'm gonna go with race 2, number 8, Serge Blanco to run a place. He is at $1.70 to run a place. I think this race just sets up beautifully for him to potentially win, but I'd be shocked if he didn't run a place. So race 2, number 8, Serge Blanco to place. Into race 4, number 2, Storm Rider to win. I think he'll lead and get the job done there. So that's, it's been a great segment. We've had a look at the Inter-Dominion Series. We've hopefully found some winners at all over the country, and we've set up Melton on Saturday night. Fred, what's the next few hours look like for you? Hitting the road soon?
Yeah, I'm going to hit the road. I'm going to try and beat the Friday traffic up the M1. It can be pretty horrendous on a Friday afternoon. So I'm going to jump in the car pretty much when I hang up, and it takes me about 2.5 hours to get to Newcastle, and then I'm just going to chill out until we start the races. So that's my plan, and as I said, beat the traffic's the best tip for tonight.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for jumping on, Fred. Really appreciate it. And I might hopefully you can commit maybe ahead of the grand final. We might be able to get you back on, and we'll preview that big final on December, or the big finals on December 14. Thanks for your time. Thanks, Brett. Thanks, Nate. Safe travels and happy punting.